Welcome along in, everybody, to the Red Card Radio news episode. We hope to be the one-stop shop for news in and relating to the English Premier League and English football for you. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below, that's Sean. He supports Tottenham Hotspurs. Boys, what's going on? How are we doing?
Very, very interesting stuff to talk about. Today. I'm excited for this. Excited for a little bit that we got going on later on here.
We've got three stories. One story that sucks.
Yes. Yeah.
A second story that sucks.
Yes.
And then a third, which is, I guess,
going to be and could potentially be a party.
Yeah. Well, at least two of us think it's interesting. One of us thinks it sucks as well. So we'll have to get into that. But if you are new here, if you just stumbled across us, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub notification bell if you're on YouTube, if you're on one of our podcast sites, 5-star rating, follow, all those things really do help us out. Drop us a comment down below if you're on YouTube. Join our Discord. It's in the show notes and the description, all that stuff. And hit us up on Twitter. All of our Twitter handles are on the screen and in the descriptions as well. But we would love it if you did all those things, shared the podcast with somebody this week. All those things really help us out. Tweet it. Do something. It would help us. We would love it. But yeah, so we got three stories. I'm gonna do the most sucky one first. But it's that Mason Greenwood, the charges against Mason Greenwood have been dropped by the Crown Prosecuting Office. So he is no longer being investigated for sexual assault, rape, whatever it was they were trying to investigate him for. So he will not see any further inquiry against those things. So I guess the ball's in Manchester United court about whether or not they will bring him back into the fold or if they will get rid of him somehow. But he is no longer under investigation.
There's not a good answer here, right? Because
no, there is.
There's a great answer for all of us, but I don't know if that's the best answer for United with all the money and everything they put into Greenwood. But yes, the man should never kick a ball again.
I mean, I was watching Goldbridge. He had a episode about Greenwood, and Goldbridge is he's a United supporter, right? So yeah, he was obviously United supporters are of two minds. Probably there's probably different camps where like if he's innocent until proven guilty, then they want to see him back at the club. They'd like to see him play. But then there's other people who are like, yeah, listening to the audio clip is enough that I don't want to see him at my club again. His point, Goldbridge's point was that he's going to play for somebody. Morals go out the window when it comes to football. And there's going to be a club that sees a 23-year-old Mason Greenwood who look at his quality when he's fully fit. They're going to pick him up. I don't think he plays again for Manchester United. I just don't see a world where that audio recording exists of him and he plays
and wear a United shirt.
Yeah, I don't see how he plays for Manchester United. I don't see how he plays for any of the big clubs in England. I honestly don't. I think if he's going to play, he's going to play abroad.
I think that's the correct answer of let's take it to a real life situation. If an electrician does something really bad, in this sense, he's gonna get fired. But to say, oh, that guy should never wire a house again because he did something bad, that's his trade. So you just can't do it here. You're more than welcome to explore other options.
Yeah.
But you can't do it here, buddy. And I think that's United's only choice is send him packing. I think. Thanks for the time. Would say it's been great, but it hasn't.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you that you're not in jail. But
yes, good for you that you're not in jail. Unfortunately for all of us, but yeah, you ain't gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here.
Yeah.
So he's not part of Prison FC as his next team.
Yeah, I guess they've released him. So that's our most crappy story of the week.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean, yeah, that's all we're gonna say.
Yeah,
It's
we're done.
Yeah. The second crappy story is that Leeds have relieved Jesse Marsh of his duties as first team coach. I have just one small plea to teams, especially in England, because it seems like it happens all the time.
It's the second time.
Can we please stop firing coaches 4 days after the transfer window ends, where you've spent all of this money supporting the manager and then you sack them? Like, I just don't get it. I do not understand it. Chelsea did it with Tuchel, and now Leeds have done it with Marsh. And it's just like, why? If it was in the back of your mind that you were going to sack this manager, how is it that vastly different today than it was a week ago, or 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago? If you were thinking about firing Marsh, just fire him in December. Fire him during the World Cup. And then you would have had the last part of December and then all of January with a new manager. You could have gotten into the transfer market and done what the new manager needed. Now they've fired him. They have no ability to bring in different players. And so, like, if you have to find a manager now who wants the profile of the players that you've already got. And so it limits your ability to hire managers.
And they just brought in Weston McKennie.
Yeah, on a deal that could cost up to £40 million.
Yeah, they buy him.
Which requires them to stay up.
Yeah. So
which you have just hamstrung the new manager from staying up. Like, to your point.
I just don't
get it. This one's crazy. I think Chelsea was looking for a reason to fire Tuchel, and so the Champions League loss to whatever team it was in whatever country it was that wasn't a Big Five club was the reason why that they found to get rid of him. This one, I don't know. Like, when did he get hired? What, September?
No.
October?
He got hired at the end of last year. So he staved off Leeds' relegation last year. He got hired with 12 games left last year. He kept Leeds up in the spring of last year. And
just no respect for keeping them up, too. Like, you're not going to give him the chance to do it again? Like, what's the deal?
My question is, you hired him in a relegation battle, right? And he succeeded in the relegation battle. But what happened if he hadn't succeeded in the relegation battle? Would you have fired him going into the championship? And if the answer is yes, then why did you hire him in the first place? I think the answer to that question is no. I think they hired him with a thought that he would be a decent enough manager to navigate the championship and get us back into the Premier League. I think that's what they were thinking. So how is that logic different now? Like, it just delayed a year. And then on top of that, you've just spent all of this money to support him in the transfer market, and you're not even going to give him 2 months? Like, I'm sorry, but the season goes until the end of May. You could have given him through all of February and even into the beginning of March and still hired Big Sam March 15th.
To be fair, that money they're spending is the Rafinha money, right? I can't remember how much that transfer was, but like they're
depends on how slowly Barcelona's paying them.
But they're spending the Rafinha money, and did they sold
Calvin Phillips,
and Jack Harrison? Didn't they sell Jack Harrison as well?
Well, who did
I'm pretty sure they did.
Who does Jack Harrison play for right now?
Oh, they signed. They sold.
It's a left side player.
They sold to DC United.
So okay, well I'm not.
It doesn't. It doesn't matter much. But like, they're spending money from player sales.
Yeah. So I don't think they're too worried because, the incoming money balances the sheets based on what they spent, which was not a lot. I don't think they spent a ton getting Wes McKennie out of UVA.
It's a loan.
No, he wasn't at UVA. He was playing in. Okay, I for some reason I thought he was loaned out to one of the Milan clubs.
No, he was loaned. He was loaned out from UVA.
You're thinking about Serginho Dest.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Milan. He's at AC Milan, who's not playing.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want Leeds to stay up, and I think their best chance to stay up was with Jesse Marsh. I don't think it's with question mark as the manager.
I haven't picked anybody besides. I mean, it's probably Big Sam, right? Like, it has to be Big Sam.
I mean,
no, I can't know. Depends on what you're looking for. They said they're looking for a project manager. So how is it not Jesse Marsh? Like that's I'm with you guys. It's confusing.
Pochettino likes a good project.
He's available.
Like jokes aside, Leeds is a big enough club that they can afford Pochettino for at least the short term if the project starts to work.
I see your Poch. I don't think Poch wants to go down to the championship, so I think you're wrong there. But
I don't think
Poch wants to have a chance that he might go down to the championship. But I see your Pochettino, and I raise you Bielsa.
Bielsa, they've
bringing him back.
They've already ruled Bielsa out, I thought.
Yeah. Where's he floating around at now?
Apparently, he wanted his team to coach. So when Everton approached him, he wanted to coach the U21s and have his team coach Everton through this season, and then he would take over in the preseason. Officially. Wow. Yeah.
I know that there was talks about Bielsa going to the Mexico national team, but that fell through for whatever reason. But I think he's just out there vibing, doing his coaching classes where he's teaching people his ethos.
Okay.
But I don't know. Nope. So it's unclear who Leeds are going to target. But that's the news coming out of Leeds.
It's hard to say this is an elephant, but maybe the smaller elephant in the room. Maybe we should address. We've addressed the elephants in order of size.
Okay.
According to us.
What?
According to Sean.
According to who? According to Sean.
Yeah.
Because we're the biggest elephant in the room.
Oh, I thought the biggest elephant in the room was Greenwood.
Greenwood has 2 allegations. The one that we're about to talk about has 100+ allegations.
Right, so it's a very, very big elephant. Let's talk about it.
Okay, so what Sean is kind of dancing around. So on Sunday, I think it was, maybe Monday, the Premier League just dropped a post on the website that has accused Manchester City of over 100 breaches of financial rules in relation to in relation to the last 9 or in a period of 9 years from 2009 to 2018, something like that. There's 4 categories of charges that they're alleging against City. The bulk of them are that their account statements were improper, essentially, because Manchester City has overstated their sponsorship income. The next set, which I think is actually kind of interesting, but apparently the Premier League is alleging that Manchester City was paying, I think it was Roberto Mancini, extra money under the table, through a separate company. So they had a contract with Mancini that said hey, Manchester City's paying you £5 million a year, whatever the fee was from the team to the manager. But apparently there was a holding company in the UAE that was paying him consultancy money for 4 days of work a year, apparently. And so that was extra money that apparently was going to the manager that was unreported on the balance books. The other set of charges are about essentially they relate to UEFA, that the Premier League has to sign off on teams saying that all of their accounts are in order. Yes, you can play in European competitions. So because their accounts were not in order, the Premier League alleges that because City's accounts weren't in order, that then the Premier League essentially signed these documents saying they could play in Europe, and that's a breach. And then the last set of charges is due to obstruction. Essentially, is that the Premier League alleges that Manchester City has not cooperated with their investigation. So all in all, it's over 100 charges. It's a 9-year period. It's going to be going to an independent regulatory panel. It's 3 people apparently, and they'll adjudicate this. It's going to probably take 2
couple of years.
It's going to take forever for them to adjudicate this, but the punishments can range from points deductions to expulsion from the Premier League. People are talking that that they might have titles revoked, things like that. So that's where Manchester City stands. The club asserts that they have done nothing wrong in no uncertain terms. So now the lawyers are going to get involved, and we'll see what comes of that. You were going to ask something, Brad.
I was gonna say, isn't Pep also an ambassador of UAE too? Something very similar to this Mancini thing you're talking about. I think that was brought up in a press conference, and like Pep got really mad about it. I can't remember which press conference it was, but it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. They asked him that there was allegations against Mancini, and is this a similar sort of thing? And he got
really
upset. There was vitriol.
Yeah,
You asked. He was like, "You asked me this and this time. Why would you do such a thing?" Like it was like,
yes.
I don't remember that.
It's not his normal sarcastic self when he's with the media.
He was like, "Well, you asked me this.
Yeah.
At a time like this, you asked me this." He got after him.
It must have been around the same time that Der Spiegel released the hacked emails.
That's around when it was.
Yep.
Yes.
All of this stems from. So like all of this stems from that hack where Der Spiegel uncovered a bunch of emails and stuff like that, and then released them. Or I guess it wasn't Der Spiegel that did it, but it was a hacker that then gave them to Der Spiegel, and Der Spiegel published them all. But so like this has come up in the past where UEFA tried to get City on these same charges, but UEFA failed. City they prevailed in the court of arbitration in sport after UEFA had given them a 2-year competition ban in 2020.
Which they cannot do, according to Premier League rules. So this will not go to CAS, but they can appeal the decision, and another group will then look at the evidence and decide if it was correct or not. But they also didn't prove that UEFA's charges were either right or wrong. They proved that they did not have the right time frame.
Yeah, that they were outside the statute of limitations, essentially.
Yep. And how they got their information was illegal.
Yeah.
Was the second thing. So it wasn't that it was wrong. It was that you didn't do it right.
Yeah, it was procedural.
Yes, is how they got out on this. And so I think over the course of 4 years, like the Premier League has had the time to figure out which charges they can prove and can prove legally.
Yeah,
I hope so.
What do you make of all this, Sean? You've been pretty quiet.
This is all pointless. Nothing's ever going to happen to City. This is a pointless argument. That's why I didn't say anything. This is absolutely asinine that you guys asked me about it. I was like, there's nothing to talk about. There's nothing that's going to happen to City. So I have constructed a better idea to do this.
Okay.
City's relegated. We're drafting their players.
Okay. How are we doing it?
They're gone. We're going to go in reverse table order. So that means Brad goes first because he's the lowest.
I'm just kidding.
I go second. Yes. You go third.
All right.
And this is not a snake draft. This is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
How many rounds?
Let's go.
We're gonna go 4 rounds on this one.
All right. I get 4 players.
There's 12 players on City that we all could all want.
So loyal listeners, friends of the podcast, if you're listening here, now would be a great time to pause the podcast. Think about who you would take from Manchester City. And drop it in the comments below. Let us know who you would like to take if Manchester City were relegated and there was just an open game and you could take their players. Who would you have on their team? So with that, Brad, you're on the clock. Chelsea are on the clock for the first pick.
Oh no!
In the supplemental Manchester City draft 2023.
How much time do I have?
You've got about.
Now, I'm just kidding.
I don't 5 seconds.
I don't need any more time. Erling Haaland is coming to Chelsea blue.
That's round hole, round peg. Yeah, yes. That's the easiest pick of all time.
Absolutely. Not shocked. No one here is shocked.
No, absolutely.
Unfortunately for Erling Haaland, he's gonna flop because he's gonna be wearing the Chelsea number 9 shirt. Okay, so
yeah,
Chelsea,
that's true.
1 Haaland. All right, Sean, you're on the clock. Spurs on behalf, or Sean on behalf of Tottenham Hotspurs.
I have spent many hours thinking about this. Do I address a need or do I pass up the Man City elephant in the room? And I have decided that I cannot. It's Kevin De Bruyne.
All right,
James, with your third pick.
I I think I've got it down who you're getting.
Okay, and I'm curious because you texted me this earlier, and you said you think you haven't figured out who you think I'm going to pick. So
It's one of two players.
I know who I'm going to pick right now, but I want to hear who you think I'm going to pick first.
It's either Julian Alvarez or it's Rodri.
It is Rodri. Yep.
Yes. Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. I was hoping Rodri would slide to me.
How would you think that Rodri would slide?
No, absolutely not.
What have I said about Arsenal? What is our biggest deficiency?
That Partey's always out.
Is it when Partey goes out, our team falls apart? And Rodri is a huge upgrade over Jorginho.
I was gonna say also you're kidding yourself if Rodri doesn't start over Partey.
He might start over Xhaka, but
yeah, either one. He's starting.
I don't know.
All right, Sean, you also had a prediction for who you think I was taking my second person. Who was that again?
Foden.
Who?
Foden.
No. I'm taking Ederson.
That's an interesting pick. Okay.
All right.
Hold on, time out. So Chelsea will have the most expensive goalkeeper of all time in Kepa. They'll have Mendy, who is apparently the greatest goalkeeper ever since
from Europe, from
Peter
Africa.
Cech.
Yes.
Peter Cech. And then they'll have Ederson, the number 2 Brazilian goalkeeper in the world, probably one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Interesting.
And Ederson is starting over both of them.
Of course, Ederson's arguably the best goalkeeper in the league.
Yes.
I didn't think that you were going to go there. Interesting.
Okay. Who did you think I was going to take?
I had no idea. I had a thought, but I'm not going to share that thought because he might be my pick.
I had him third. So I had Ederson third round.
Yeah, I figured you were going to be the most salty about this one, Sean.
Yeah, third round grade. I had Ederson.
All right, Sean. Who is?
Oh well, then this is the easiest second pick of all time. It's Ruben Diaz.
Okay.
You got your need. You got your need in the second round. There's good value there.
All right, this is. Oh, I think I know where he goes here. So this is why, loyal podcast listeners on YouTube, this is why I printed out a roster sheet and color coded them.
I have the Man City roster up on my computer.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm working off my phone.
I have color coded them.
All right. I am going to select with my 6th pick in the 2023 supplemental Manchester City Scrapyard draft.
Yes.
Alvarez.
I knew you. I knew you were going there. I knew you were going there.
So, and I will justify that pick. I don't necessarily think it's a huge need for Arsenal.
He's 20. He's 23.
He's young and he's a center forward, and Arsenal have some questions in that role.
Yeah.
Okay. Brad, with the 7th pick, who are you taking?
Yeah.
This is the beginning of round number 3.
Start of round number 3. Ooh. I got a tough decision here. I got 2 I want.
So, Sean,
I don't know.
I was going to take Diaz if you hadn't. Just throw that out there. Diaz was my higher priority for me.
Yeah.
Just throw that out there.
Yeah.
That's why you should have prepared, Brad. You're on the clock. You've got 10 seconds.
I know. I'm jealous.
You're on the clock.
10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Laporte. Interesting.
You mean? Wow. Okay.
So why Laporte? You guys have like 8 center backs.
Thiago can't stay around forever.
But he's 28. I mean, like, I guess 28's not that old, but okay.
I mean, it was that or a Kanji, and I wasn't sure. But Laporte has more experience.
What about Ake? You guys tried to sign Ake in the summer.
Yeah, but I like Laporte better.
Okay. All right. So that leads us to pick number 8, and this is going to Sean. Sean, who is this?
He actually doesn't. There's one more player with the highest grade, and I'm going to skip him because Phil Foden is still on the board, and he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's funny because I was going to take Foden if you hadn't.
green player, which was the highest rating. That was the incredible talent, generational talent, or can't pass up. The last one not taken is Bernardo.
It's not. We're not done yet.
No, we haven't.
No.
You guys.
That's the last one for me.
You guys have one more pick each.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have two here.
So you have two.
I have two. All right. I didn't think I was going to do it this early. I am taking the 18-year-old Lewis right back.
Wow.
Really?
I am.
Wow. I kind of dig it.
I kind of dig it too.
I'm going to take him for cover.
Yeah. We're drafting for future and that's Tierney Zinchenko's. Zinchenko's getting old.
Right back. That's
right side.
That's Tamiyasu, Ben White.
It's Ben White.
No, Rico Lewis plays left.
No, Rico
or he played
right.
left. He played left against us.
I think he can play both sides, but I think he's technically a right back, but I think he can play both sides. But yeah, he's 18 years old. He's English. He is playing.
Yeah, checks all the boxes.
Right? Like
checks all the boxes. Yeah. Checks all the boxes. All right, Brad, last pick. What do you got?
I think I'm crazy if I don't. I'll take Bernardo.
Yeah. All right. That's Brad 10. Okay.
All right. With your final pick, Sean, who do you have?
This is the easiest decision of the night.
Okay.
Pep Guardiola.
No. No. We said play. We said players.
Wait. Conte's out of here, bro. I need a manager.
Nope.
Come on.
Nope.
I'm drafting Pep.
The league has rejected your pick.
Whoa! Come on.
That's good.
Pep Guardiola. Come on. We're signing him to a 3-year contract, and we're out of here. We're vibing.
If Brad knew Pep was an option, would Brad have taken Pep?
Brad?
I'm always manager in. No, I am sticking with Graham. That's why I didn't draft him. I thought about it, right, but I'm sticking with Graham.
So Pep's off the board.
So who does?
Are you letting me draft Pep or no?
I'm letting you have him. I don't care.
All right, yeah, there we go. I got my manager for the future because Conte's out of here. He's especially out of here when I draft his replacement.
I'm a little salty that you took Phil Foden with the 8th pick.
Well, I didn't think he was going to be available there.
Yeah. Excuse me. Oh man, this is a tough choice. I have one choice left.
They just signed Maximo Perrone or Perrone.
Yeah, Perrone.
They just signed him.
Yeah, but
he looks good.
I've already taken one defensive midfielder in Rodri. I part of me wants to take Gundogan because he's such a workhorse, but he's too old. Like so.
That was my problem too.
And that's my issue here when I'm looking at this. Like, I could go Jack Grealish, but he's 27 and he's not much of a goal producer. I mean, like in terms of his personal production.
Yeah. And he's a Martinelli backup for
exactly.
you.
And
like I don't think he's better than Martinelli.
I don't think so either. And I'd rather stick with Martinelli because I think Martinelli's potential growth is higher than Jack Grealish's. And on that, we have Trossard in that role. I mean, obviously Jack Grealish I think is an upgrade over Trossard, but all right. So
what's it gonna be?
I knew the 12th pick was going to be the toughest because we're running out of people.
All right.
There's like 3 people I think it could be.
Okay, who are the 3 people that you think it could be?
Calvin Phillips,
okay.
Riyad Mahrez.
Okay.
Grealish.
Or whichever defender you want to pick. No, it's not Grealish. Whichever defender. I guess there's multiple, but insert center back.
All right. You guys are all wrong.
Okay.
I am taking the 20-year-old Cole Palmer. Attacking
Cole Palmer. I didn't even.
Wow.
Put him.
I didn't even. All the babies here. I
didn't even
make sense.
I didn't even give him a grade.
Yep. So the reason why I'm taking him along with Lewis is they're both young. They're both English. They've probably got some upside in England somewhere. English tax, all that stuff. English players are important to English teams with Brexit. So I don't know. And you guys definitely, I had the worst draft order, but I think I'm happy with Rodri, Alvarez, Lewis, Palmer. I think I'm happy with that.
I think we leave this to the Red Car Radio heads on who had the best draft.
Grade our drafts. Okay, so let me go over this for you. So Chelsea took with the first pick Erling Haaland. They took with the 4th pick Ederson. With the 7th pick, they took Laporte. And then with the 10th pick, they took Bernardo Silva. Tottenham, with the 2nd pick in the 2023 supplemental Manchester City scrapyard draft, Tottenham Hotspurs took Kevin De Bruyne. With the 5th pick, they took Ruben Diaz. With the 8th pick, they took Phil Foden. And with the 11th pick, they took Pep Guardiola. And Arsenal with the 3rd pick. Arsenal. Okay, if we didn't let you take Pep, who are you going to take there?
Okay.
Okay.
Or Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker.
Oh, the return?
Yeah, whatever. We just need it right back. Whatever, just whoever.
Bro, Emerson Royale just had the greatest game of his career. Anyway, hold on.
Yeah,
Arsenal with the 3rd pick took Rodri. 6th pick Julian Alvarez. 7th place took the young man Lewis, and with the 12th pick took Palmer, attacking midfielder. So rate our grades. I think. See, the problem is I would have loved to rate Brad's draft higher if he didn't take Ederson 4th. I think that's a bad pick for Ederson. I think it's too high for a 32-year-old goalkeeper personally. But
he fits right in with. I think he's as old or maybe even younger than Mendy. Mendy's close.
I mean, it's obviously a need. Like you guys have a specific. Or he's only 29. Excuse me, he's only 29.
Yeah.
So that's a specific need that you guys have, which is wild to me with how much money you've spent on goalkeepers. That's still a specific need. But I digress.
One bust.
So yeah, who do I think had the best draft? I'm not sure. I'll have to think about that.
That's tough that we let him get Bernardo Silva with the first pick of the last round.
Bernardo Silva wants to go to Barcelona anyway, so he's going to play for Chelsea for 6 months and then beg to leave. So
we'll get a dub. It'll be fine. Yeah, he'll be partnered with Enzo. It'll be dope.
You guys will finish 8th, and then he'll be like, "I'm going to Barcelona." All right. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of our draft, and I hope you guys had fun with that. It was kind of our little, there wasn't much to say about City other than like the specifics that I gave you. There's no point in us sitting here like fantasizing about what's going to happen because nothing's going to happen for like 3 years. But
no, we fantasize about something a whole lot funner because we were fantasizing about.
When you called me with this idea, Sean, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, we're making up shit anyway, so we might as well make up shit.
Exactly. Let us know. Let us know in the comments who you would take in the 2023 supplemental Manchester City scrapyard draft, and yeah, we would love to hear from you. Hit us up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG. Down below, that's at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany. Collectively, we are at RedCard_Radio. And check back tomorrow because we've got a preview of Match Week 24 coming for you, and we look forward to that. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.